To have your company here on Richard Mwenje Exclusive, your home of matters to do with political and governance analysis. It's such a distinct pleasure to have your company with us. Welcome to the conversation. And today we continue bringing home conversations that are shaping Kenya's political landscape. And who better to help me unpack such conversations than this renowned think tank, former Minister Kipruto Arap Kirwa.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking sharp as always.
Well, I try because the alternative is a disaster.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
Donning designer stuff, customized counter suits in the footsteps of Murkomen.
Murkomen, you almost made me leave the studio.
Why though?
Does Murkomen know how to wear a counter suit?
He doesn't do counter suits, but he's a man who's...
Oh, a man of class.
Yeah, a man of class.
No,
Finesse.
Finesse, okay. I wish he was. Otherwise, there are many things that he does not qualify to get to that class. He's somebody I've known from his childhood as a young pupil in primary schooling within my constituency. Up to the fact that now he's a minister. We wish him well, but I don't associate him with certain things. Humility, modesty, and respect for those who have been in town before. Yeah.
But do you associate him with integrity when it comes to management of public resources?
I'm yet
and
to
transparency?
I'm yet to know because, of course, audit queries will come out soon. But, of course, the display of opulence is what almost made everybody detest the name Murkomen. Yeah, and the Murkomen in Kalenjin has something to do with some brew.
We can't go there. We can't go there.
Yeah.
Sir, your friend, Wiper leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, Azimio core principal, seems to be a man at crossroads. And the dilemma in the picture is, should he cut links with Raila Odinga, who's now joined government, or continue working with him in the hope that Raila Odinga will sort of support his 2027 presidential bid? What should Kalonzo do henceforth?
Well, I do not qualify to advise Kalonzo because he's senior politically and even in terms of age and experience. But if I were him, I would start crafting new formation. After all, Raila has not stayed with one formation for more than one election. It's like for every election, you remember there was the one they were calling Chege Code. Then from Code, we went to NASA. Then from NASA is Azimio. So every election has been having new formation. And of course, before the Code, we had, with him in 2002, National Rainbow Coalition, NARC. So Raila seems to be somebody well gifted in experimenting with new ideas. And I don't mind that. But I don't see him supporting Kalonzo in the next election unless it will be so clear that Kalonzo has a head start with the support of others. Remember, Richard, this space called the opposition is no longer fully occupied by Azimio anymore. We don't know whether Azimio is in government, or is it ODM, is it Raila, or is it the four individuals recommended, the two party leaders, the chairman, leader of minority, and of course our young girl from Turkana, Beatrice Askul, that I really wish her well because I feel that was a deserving case of the first lady minister from a community that is otherwise regarded as part of the backwaters of this country. So I strongly believe that it's high time that those of us who have hitherto been in Azimio, we must rethink our position, including my party leader, Eugene Wamalwa. Mother Karua has bolted, but we can still regroup under new outfit and see who else. Even some of those in Kenya Kwanza today may end up joining us. Because remember, for the last 30 years, no formation has been intact for more than 5 years. So because remember, we started as NAC against Kanu at that particular time. And if, 2 years down the road, there was the famous referendum 2005, where we were properly split. There are those who went orange and those who went banana. And after that, then the president dissolved the cabinet. And the cabinet that was reconstituted had a different phase from the original cabinet of 2003. And of course, 2007 elections was a point of departure where those who were in Kano, most of them, apart from some of us, regrouped with in the ODM, the 2007 elections. And the rest, you know, the history. Today, when I look critically at those who say they are in government, is the reincarnation of the ODM of 2007. And it is akin to what I call Western Alliance. Because remember that particular time, it was PNU versus ODM. PNU versus ODM, where President Kibaki was the candidate for PNU. Prime Minister Raila Odinga was the candidate for ODM. And the results were too close to call. That's why Kriegler said he doesn't know who won the election.
Kriegler report.
A Kriegler report. And the only missing factor in that arrangement of 2007 are the votes that are associated with Kalonzo Musyoka. So the Kibaki wing, when they formed the government, they brought in the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka as a vice president. Now, what am I saying? Should the same reacted, the one of 2007, and Kalonzo Musyoka chooses the Eastern Bloc with a bit of Western, then he's the person to win. So he should actually spend more time thinking on how to reorganize his systems than to hope that Raila will support him.
I'm curious to understand, though, still on that matter, you've gone on record on this show profiling the political marriage between Raila Odinga and Ruto to be one unholy matrimony. But don't you think that is political infrastructure high enough for anyone to flatten even the Kalonzo that you're proposing to go and get someone from the Western Bloc? Remember, these are two enigmas in one camp.
Well, let me tell you the truth. Kenyans are not static. They are very dynamic, and they are likely to change their mind. There is this constituency called Gen Z. That constituency is the most lethal. It now depends on who is going to win over that constituency. That is the constituency that is akin to the ASLA of the last general election.
It can rewrite history, Gen Z?
Gen Z will, not that it can, it will definitely determine who wins the next election. If the president of the day today, William Ruto, is able to give them the things that they are aspiring, and they trust that he will sustain that even after winning the election, he will be the next president. But Raila may not be a major factor in this coming election, because even those of us who are with him, we feel cheated. Today he says it is Uhuru who called him. The following day he says it was
Ruto who reached out first.
Who reached out to him. Another day he says he has not moved to government. It is they have donated those people.
Expatriates.
And then he's telling, yes, as experts, in quotes, then he says, but they wish them well. So where is he? It worries me, it worries me.
So has Raila grown into the biggest political watermelon?
I don't know, but I think he has acquired another form that is worrying to any political analyst. And because we claim that space for now, we feel he's letting down those who have admired him for many years. I've said it before, the pot breaks at the door. That is the risk that Raila is likely to earn when the history of Kenya is fully written. And I do not want to engage in that in that thesis. Otherwise, it may end up not being a very friendly person to democracy and the building of democratic institutions. Because democracy involves sacrifice. You must accept that if I do not win the election, I can wait peacefully, patiently for 5 years. At Raila, in 2007, accepted Kibaki to form his government with Kalonzo. And he said, yes, we want to be responsible opposition. Uhuru would not have won the presidency in 2013. Raila would have been having overwhelming majority. Now he came, he joined the government. After joining the government, some of his lieutenants were taken away. Actually, remember, Balala, Ruto, Nyaga, Nani, all those who were in his Pentagon. They ended up with the government. And Ruto became the architect of Raila's destruction.
He was the chief author?
He was the chief author. He used to have rallies in Nandi, fighting Raila that, our boys disappeared, 4,000 of them.
Rocking the ship from the inside.
Yeah, But later on, he has not told us where the boys go. So some of these, it worries me that we are not being honest. Let me tell you, Kenyans don't trust us politicians. They believe what we are saying is for convenience. Even what I'm telling you now, they say Kirwa is saying that because he's not a minister. No, I'm saying it because we have to put it on record that this country deserves better. We cannot sacrifice every opportunity and give political solutions to integrity issues. The issues of GNCs is about integrity, is about moral bar, is about issues of inclusivity, issues of fairness. Now, you are answering all that by bringing ODM to government and making it look like all the problems now have been solved because ODM is with the president. That is not how to solve these problems. This space, we need to occupy it. Yeah, Raila is there today. He may not be there tomorrow. I may not be there tomorrow. But what history are we writing for the children and our grandchildren to come and read tomorrow? That Kirwa was one time here, then he moved away from William. Then William, when he brought ODM, he went again back to William to be a minister. I want to say, for the next 3 years, I have no attraction to want to be anything in Ruto's government.
Not even a minister, chief minister?
Nothing. Nothing. Not even a chairman of a dip, cattle dip. I just want to be what I am because we must accept, if you are in the opposition, your timing was wrong, your thinking was warped, and therefore accept the realities. If you are in the opposition, remain in the opposition.
So you're not trying to use reverse psychology on the president?
No. No, in fact, I can tell the president, please don't waste your time with Kirwa. You know, nikiamka asubuhi, kama kuna chai na kunywa, kama hakuna, nitatembea mpaka wakati unanunua maziwa, tunatengeneza.
Hutaki bendera kwa gari?
Bendera ya nini? I have one in the house that I was given by Kibaki.
And you're more proud of it?
Yes, because I was minister. You get into a lift, you realize the minister is in the lift. People almost stop breathing. But he minister ambao kesho unatolewa kama chokoraki. Let me tell you, if William had appointed me as a minister, what guarantee that I would have remained when there was that clean sweep? What constituency do I have outside his constituency? You know, these are some of the things we must be practical. Some of my supporters will tell you, oh, ukipewa, usikatae. So I'm happy. I thank the president. He never mentioned my name. Otherwise, it could have been so complicated for me. People would have seen that I'm being selfish, I'm being bitter, I'm being jealous. I don't want the glory the president is enjoying. No, I thank him for not even imagining that my name needed to exist
to be nominated.
In that list. No.
Sure enough. And you talking about the need for us to have honesty in Kenya's political landscape.
Yeah.
And the other day, Jubilee SG, Jeremiah Kioni, and also leader of DAP Kenya, Eugene Wamalwa, dismissed Raila's claims that it is Uhuru Kenyatta who reached out to him to form the broad-based government just so to get Kenya on the right trajectory. But you also mentioned of Raila being someone who cannot be associated with the truth of late. So is Raila likely to be living on borrowed political oxygen because so many people were his organic followers and now they are treating him with contempt? What should Raila do and how can he win back the trust?
Well, the best thing is that I wish him well. In his campaign to go to be AU Commission chair, and that would serve him very well because I know he has tried to the best of his ability and imagination and capacity to bring democracy to this country. He has failed a number of times, not about failing about elections. He has mistimed, including the cooperation with KANU, and eventually the merger where he became Secretary General of KANU, and many other. Even the Nusumkate government, for me, was to advise him, that was ill-advised. But now I just wish him well as an elder. Let him also enjoy the rest of the continent because he's well known in Africa. But I would advise him to refrain from our local politics. You know, every generation has its own leaders. If I'm feeling old at my age, and he's 12 years older than me, why does he still feel he's got the energy and the stamina to deal with issues of the Murkomens of this world? Kimani Ichung'wah, Ndindi Nyoro.
Kaiga maybe.
Kega is a firebrand in his own style.
You like referring to him as a funny guy.
He's a funny guy because you see, for him, he says it as it is. Yeah. Yeah, you don't play with him. When you play with him, you're playing with us.
Taking no prisoners.
Yeah, I like him. So the issue is, I just wish him well. Apart from that, I think he should refrain from national politics. You will be shocked that Raila's word may not carry a lot of weight in the next election. It will not carry a lot of weight.
For the first time in Kenya's history?
For the first time in Kenya's history. Remember, he started also with a paltry 500,000 votes when he first ran. That he has been building now to millions of votes over the period. But history has been very fair to him because he's very good in channeling propaganda. Even this watermelon, it is he and William Ruto who called the Kalonzo watermelon. But Kalonzo, I've known him to be very consistent.
Not a political chameleon? I
he's not a political chameleon. It's only that he's too nice to be naive. Otherwise, the way I know him, we were together for a number of days, a number of years, both in parliament and even in the opposition. I've worked with him. And during the formation of NASA, we were together almost up to the end. It is not Kalonzo who messed the equation. It is somebody else that I don't want to name now who messed us up. Otherwise, we were winning. The NASA would have actually won, hands down.
So with the Kalonzo's candidature for the presidential bid and with the backing of Martha Karua as his running mate, do you see that is a political vehicle that could realize the dreams of being the head of state?
But what cure are we giving to the issues raised by GNCs? That, to me, that is a very important constituency. We must ask ourselves, what are the issues? And these issues will not be addressed by this regime alone. We must also think about it. Well, how do we intend to be fair in terms of employment? When our communities, when you get into an office, the first thing they are coming for favors. What are we going to do about recruitment to the police, to the military? What are we going to do to be fair to teachers, those who are employed by Teacher Service Commission? What are we going to do about retirees? You find somebody retires, after 4 years he has not gotten retirement benefits. What are the systems that we are bringing? So for me, we need to address those issues without necessarily placarding the GNCs, telling them this is the way we want to do things. If we were to do something believable, that will be the winning combination. Because GNCs may comprise about 5 million people, voters. And whichever way they go, that's the winning team. Some, of course, will remain with their traditional tribal outfits, whether it is Raila Ruto in one camp. Some of them may remain in that camp. But the majority of them will be occupying the hustler narrative that President Ruto presented to the people of Kenya in the last general election.
They'll be unpacking the lies therein and what has been achieved.
The 1,000 lies that is associated with the president today, those are the people who will unpack and look at us. Do we trust this team? Or are they only another bunch of liars?
Will it just be about them trusting the other team or looking at whether their promises are viable, they are feasible enough?
Yes, because for every manifesto, it must be realistic. It must be a realistic manifesto. And we must also explain what this regime has not been able to do, that a manifesto is an expression of hope and promises. A manifesto must be translated into a public policy document for purposes of implementing the wishes that were enshrined in the manifesto. That's the way it is.
Very well put there, sir. And lastly, you've talked about matters to do with the future of Raila Odinga in the political space and also what Azimio should do henceforth. For Babu Owino, Embakasi East Member of Parliament, he's come forth and said, in the event that Raila Odinga clinches the AUC position, then there's nobody better than him in ODM and Azimio to succeed Baba than himself. Do you think Babu Owino is having this exaggerated sense of not just self-importance, but exaggerating his abilities out of illusion?
Well, I don't think it is, what we call ambition is an ingredient that every politician must have, and Babu Owino is one of them. So we allow him that ambition, but I would want to advise him that he should spend more time also thinking who are going to partner with him. for purposes of making his story believable. Otherwise, it may end up being just a dream that turned into a nightmare.
Would you implore him to have people like Gavin Wamshomba, Mark Mwenje by his side, just so to realize that bigger dream that he harbors?
Well, but he should be inviting them as partners, and partners must be given some level of respect, so that you are not saying, telling him or her, come and support me. They should invite themselves to a forum where they can have a distillation of issues, and upon distilling each and every issue, they are now do what we call team formation. And in team formation, there's several stages, the last one being performing. Remember, when we were forming NAC, National Rainbow Coalition, we went through a number of stages. One of the stages was brainstorming as a team, the three leaders, Charity Ngilu, Mwai Kibaki, and the late Wamalwa Kijana. And after that brainstorming, now we got a group called the P12. From every political party, there were 4 people who came in, and I was not part of that, but we were like the people who do backstopping of the P12. Then we graduated into a group of 20 coordinating committee, now which I was part of. Then eventually there was the summit of 8, which I was also part of. So all those were processes that were required for people to work together, because there is mutual suspicion among politicians. And if we are not careful, Babu Windo may have the best ideas, but nobody will listen to him. Possibly he loves listening to himself.
Possibly he loves listening to himself.
Yeah.
There you have it. At that point, we bring the show to a wrap, our main conversation for the day. But I cannot leave you without bringing on board this new insightful segment that is very, very informative, and it takes you down memory lane. That is Heroes Corner with Kipruto Arab Kirwa. Sir, who do we have today on Heroes Corner?
Yeah, we have a lady of great credentials, a fighter, somebody who did a lot to stem the apartheid regime in South Africa.
Oh, really?
In the absence of her husband. Born 1936 in South Africa. This is the lady Winnie Mandela.
Winnie Mandela?
Winnie Mandela, that is the hero of the day, or the heroine of the day. She did a lot while her husband was in jail for more than 20-something years. She's the one who carried the Mandela name and became the rallying call for the struggle for fighting apartheid in South Africa.
For the 27 years that Mandela was in prison?
Yes, she carried the banner.
She stuck by him and his
She
ideologies?
stuck by him and his ideologies. And his name, Mandela was more famous while in jail than while he was initially at the struggle. And he became an enigma, somebody that people do not know. You know, when you're around, people can demystify you. So you cannot demystify him because he made no mistakes, because nobody knew what he was doing in jail. She struggled all the way until South Africa got her independence. And of course, she served the country. Unfortunately, they parted ways with the president or her husband. But still, in the memory of struggle, Winnie Mandela is my icon. Somebody I respect a lot. Somebody that I feel she was selfless in the struggle. There are many tribulations she went through, but she was able to withstand and remain the center of focus in the struggle in South Africa against the apartheid regime. Winnie Mandela still remains my heroine.
And do you think she's maybe the person who inspired the likes of Helen Sirleaf Johnson, who later became president of Liberia? Do you think she's the women figure who inspired other women in Africa to take on the struggle?
She was an icon. In fact, Winnie Mandela, people like Sirleaf Johnson, people like Miriam Makeba. Those are the continental figures that we put them in the same class as Kwame Nkrumah, George Padmore, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Those are the heroes of yesteryears. And those are the people who made Africa to be felt internationally. Here at home, we had somebody like Joseph Tom Mboya. This is somebody who also became, at a very early age, somebody very serious in the struggle. But Winnie Mandela is in a class of her own. She made it possible for South Africa to get through the separation of communities, separation of races, that what we call apartheid. Winnie still remains icon of hope.
What a homage from you, directed to Winnie Mandela. She passed on in 2018, right?
2018, that's when she passed on. Unfortunately, it happened. And history is never fair. Some of the heroes that we write, they don't deserve the name. Even in the struggle for Mau Mau, there are many people who did so much. People like Dedan Kimathi. People like, there was a general in Meru.
Musa Mariama?
Yeah.
Baimunge,
all those people, they just disappeared. And yet they are the ones who made possible for the Mau Mau to go through that struggle without the modicum of resources. The resources were the human resource that was in the community. The strength of the Mau Mau women who was able to reach out to their husbands, give them food, carry some secrets.
Mudhoni wa Kirime and all
Yes, all those ladies. So these are some of the issues that at times we feel history is never fair. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Asante sana, Waziri, for your insights and for always taking us down memory lane. Yeah. We were not there, but at least you were there. Or you heard it from your fathers.
No, but part of it was, yeah, you remember I was born in 1957. That's 1 year after the killing of Kimathi.
Oh.
Yeah.
And in the next 1 month, you're going to turn a year older.
Yes.
70 is fast approaching. And then we sent you to Cherangani.
I'm not yet 70.
But it's fast approaching.
Yeah, it's fast approaching. But I will not go to Cherangani.
You need to sit under the mango tree.
I will hang around here. Once in a while, I go to Cherangani to say hi to my neighbors. And I'm leaving on Tuesday for Cherangani.
There you have it. Until next time on Richard Mwenje Exclusive, do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Let's keep this conversation going beyond here at Mwenje Richard across all social media platforms, on X, on TikTok, and on Facebook as well. See you soon.